Hi everybody, welcome back to Della Debt Payoff. Today's video we're going to be going over the November 28th, 2025 paycheck budget to actuals. This was the second of two paychecks in November, so just a normal 2 paycheck month for us. So let's just jump right in. So the budget for my paycheck was the normal amount, $1,858.56, and I brought in $1,858.57, so 1 penny more than budgeted. Next is my husband's paycheck at the normal amount of $2,064.76, and he brought in $2,064.76. We budgeted $250 for his part-time job, and he actually brought in $368.03. And then we had miscellaneous income as well in this paycheck period. I can't remember. I think I sold something on Facebook, and I forget what the other amount was from, but that was at $43.14. So it's always nice to get a little something extra. So that total income for this paycheck period was $4,334.50. So how much higher was that than what we budgeted? Let's see here. $161.17 more than what we budgeted. So that's exciting. So let's go down to debt. We did not pay his truck loan, and we did not pay on the student loan out of this paycheck, but we did pay our mortgage. We budgeted $1,880, and that is what we paid. So total debt out of this paycheck budget was $1,880. Let's go down to investments. We budgeted $60 for the Roth, and that is what we contributed. Nothing to our brokerage account. So total investment for this paycheck budget was just $60. Let's hop on down to expenses. Let's do fixed. Cell phones, $123.20, and that's what we ended up paying. We did not pay internet out of this paycheck. We did not pay for our life insurance out of this paycheck. Subscriptions, we budgeted $99.70, and that is what we paid. So our subtotal is $222.90, which is right on budget. Let's go down to utilities. Electric, we budgeted $110, and that came a little under at $108.44. We budgeted $50 for our gas bill. That came in at $47.07. No water bill this month. We will have one in December, unfortunately. So our utilities for this paycheck, and really for the month of November, was $155.51. A little under budget of $160. So variable expenses looking a little funky, but we did purchase some groceries for this pay period of $125.59. Gas, $60.62. Entertainment, we went to the movies, so $22.74. We did have some clothes purchases, $83.40. Health, we had to copay for something, $30. and $0 for this pay period for rest of these. So the total for variable expenses, $322.35. So our total for all fixed utilities and variable expenses, $776. Quite a bit higher than what we budgeted, but when I did this budget, I kind of figured we would be doing some expenses here, but we did have some additional income to cover this. And if you recall, for the November 14th paycheck, we had about $140 remaining from that to cover here, which I don't include here, but maybe I should. I say this every video, I just haven't done it yet to include a carryover amount, so this doesn't look crazy funky. But so savings, we budgeted $150 for our home sinking fund. That's how much we contributed. Our personal accounts, $135, that's how much we contributed. Nest, we were actually able to contribute $900, we budgeted $850. And somebody asked in a previous video how we differentiate Nest and emergency. And really, I suppose they're very similar. Emergency is in a separate bank than our normal checking and savings and a high yield savings account. And we do not want to touch this emergency. What we put in, we are not taking out unless we're in dire straits and absolutely have to. So this is kind of something like reserves that we are not trying to spend. So Nest, that's where we saved up money to pay off my car from, to get that debt off our books and over with. So maybe we should just stop contributing so aggressively to the Nest and increase our emergency, since it is at a high yield savings account at an online bank. I don't know. Leave your thoughts below on that. What you think we should do, what you would do in our situation, what you guys do for your emergency fund where you save the bulk of your money or whatever works for your family. So maybe that is something we need to revisit. We did not save anything for our dog account this month, or this paycheck. We save that in the first paycheck of the month. And she does have a vet appointment this month in December. I hate going to the vet. It gives me a lot of anxiety because she's so scared. It makes me like so nervous for her. But emergency, we budgeted $350, and that's what we contributed. And then vacation, budgeted $300, saved $300. We're gonna have to buy flight tickets for that destination wedding that's coming up next year. We'll have to do that relatively soon. We should have the money to buy those from our savings account. And then that wedding will be paid for our portion of it. I was thinking about getting a new dress for the resort, but I have so many dresses. I think it would be a waste of money to do that. So I'll have to just shop my own closet, which also, I don't know if I want to do a goals video for 2026 or not. But one of the things I've been thinking about is just no new clothes shopping for the whole year. It'll be hard, especially with my habits and how I grew up was you get a new outfit for every event, and that's what you only, like, you wear it for that, and it's just like you go shopping for a new event. So I don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but that's how I was raised with my family. So $1,835 is what we were able to save from this paycheck. And so that was just the $50 more we were able to contribute to our Nest account. So let's fill out our summary tab here. Income, $4,334.50. Fixed expenses right on budget, $222.90. Utilities, $155.51. Variable expenses, $322.35. savings, 1,835. Debt, 1,880. And investments, 60. So we are negative, but it's covered by our last paycheck. So negative amount, 141.26. Oh, something new too that I have started to kind of look at was comparing our actual expenses to like a 50-30-20 budget. So 50% needs, which I might have done in the last video, I can't remember. 30% wants, I think I did, and 20% savings and additional debt. So this is not just debt payments, but it's like additional debt. And just looking at what we brought in for our income, our needs would be $2,167.25, wants $1,335, savings and additional debt would be $866.90. But looking at what we actually did spend for needs was a little higher, $2,374.92. Wants extremely lower, $205.84. And savings and additional debt astronomically higher, $1,000 more than what this little 50-30-20 budget recommends at $1,895. So breaking these down to kind of like what percentage these were, actual amounts compared to the actual income that we brought in. Let's compare that if you're following. Needs was 55% of our brought in income. This is kind of high. And once we actually enter into a student loan repayment plan, this will probably go up more, because currently we have that student loan payments, because it's an additional debt, because there's no payments due, it's here. So that is a bit concerning. Wants was just 5%. For this pay period, I know we need to look at the whole month to get a complete overall picture and view of how our financial health is, but just for this paycheck. And then savings and additional debt was at 44%. So not too bad for needs currently, but wants and savings / additional debt, these are way off from the 30 and 20% that this standard 50-30-20 budget recommends. So thought that's interesting to see. It's interesting to know, and it helps us see where our money's going. And maybe when I do the month closeout, I can go through each line within here and show what I have coded as needs, like groceries, that's a need for us. Gas is a need. But then wants, I think is kind of straightforward, I guess, is dining out, entertainment, clothes. Health is a need. Gifts, wants. Home items are a want. The dog, that's a need. Beauty, that's a want. Cars, need. Car insurance, need. Really, home improvements technically are wants, because we can, if we need something, we can use it on our savings account. Hobbies, that's a want. So I quickly did that through there. And then our fixed expenses, cell phone, internet, life insurance are a need. Subscriptions are wants, because those are entertainment subscriptions. Utilities, those are all needs. Yeah, I'll just do it quickly here. The Chevy, that's a need. Student loans are savings / additional debt. Mortgage is a need, because that's our housing. Investments, I have those in savings / additional debt. And then obviously savings are under savings and additional debt. So that's something new I implemented recently. We'll see how we did for the whole month for November, once I look at it as a whole and compare back to these, and hopefully they're a bit closer to 50-30-20. So hopefully I made some sense there. Hopefully it wasn't too rambly and confusing, but thanks for watching. leave your thoughts down below. Hope you all are having a nice December so far. Hopefully the weather's not too bad where you're at. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.